Your child is not difficult. What every parent must understand before it's too late. Have you ever looked at your child and wondered, why is this child so stubborn? Why won't she listen? Why is he always angry? Why does everything become a struggle? Maybe you've said it out loud. Maybe you've whispered it in frustration. Maybe you've carried the guilt silently because deep down you love your child more than anything. Yet, some days, parenting feels exhausting. But what if the child you call difficult is actually carrying a message? What if the behavior frustrating you is not the real problem? And what if misunderstanding that message could damage your relationship with your child for years to come? Today, we are talking about one of the most important parenting truths you'll ever learn. Your child is not difficult. Your child is communicating. And understanding that difference can change everything. Good morning, dear friends, and welcome to the month of June. I welcome you back again to Nurture and Thrive Therapy, where we explore practical wisdom for raising emotionally healthy children and building stronger families. Today's conversation is for parents, it's for teachers, it's for caregivers, it's for counselors, it's for mentors, and it's especially for anyone who has ever felt overwhelmed by a child's behavior. Because many children are carrying labels they never deserved. They are carrying labels such as difficult, problem child, attention seeker, disrespectful, stubborn. Yet, behind many of these labels is a child who is struggling, hurting, confused, frightened, overwhelmed, or simply trying to be understood. The tragedy is that when adults focus only on behavior, they often miss the child behind the behavior. And when that happens repeatedly, relationships between child and parents suffer. Trust weakens, communication breaks down, and emotional wounds begin to form. Today, let's look deeper. The biggest parenting mistake. One of the biggest mistakes adults make is believing that behavior is the problem. Behavior is usually the symptom. Think about this. When adults feel stressed, what happens? Some become irritable, some withdraw, some overeat, some become impatient, some stay silent, some become emotional. The behavior is visible, but the stress underneath is the real issue. Children are no different. When a child refuses to listen, there is often something underneath. When a child throws tantrums, there is often something underneath. When a child becomes aggressive, there is something underneath. When a child isolates themselves, there is often something underneath. The behavior is simply the language of what is happening inside. And children often communicate through behavior because they lack the emotional vocabulary adults possess. Let's look at a story many parents will recognize. Imagine an 8-year-old boy. Every morning before school, he becomes difficult. He complains, he argues, he refuses to get ready, he cries. his parents become frustrated, punishment increase, argument increase. Everyone assumes the child is simply being stubborn. Weeks later, they discover something important. They discover that the child is being bullied at school. Suddenly, everything makes sense. The behavior was never the problem. The behavior was the signal. Unfortunately, many children spend years spending or sending signals nobody understands. Let's look at the hidden question behind every behavior. Every child is asking one silent question. Every child is asking, can somebody understand what I'm feeling? Think about that. Not can somebody control me? Not can somebody punish me? Not even can somebody force me, but can somebody understand me? Understanding does not mean permitting harmful behavior. It means seeing beyond the behavior. A child can be corrected and understood at the same time. A child can be disciplined and understood at the same time. A child can be guided and understood at the same time. The most effective parents learn to do these both. Let's look at the 4 reasons children are often labeled difficult. Let's look at some common reasons children are labeled difficult. 1. Unmet emotional needs. Children need more than food, shelter, and education. They need connection, attention, affection, encouragement, safety, and belonging. When emotional needs go unmet in children, behavior often changes. A child becomes clingy. Another may become aggressive. Another may become withdrawn. And the behavior differs. The need is the same, and the need is connection. Second point is stress and anxiety. Many adults underestimate how much children notice. Children notice financial struggles. They notice family conflicts, parental stress, school pressure. They notice social rejection. They also notice world events. Even when they don't fully understand what is happening, they often feel the emotional atmosphere around them. Stress that cannot be expressed often becomes behavior. Now we have developmental limitations. Sometimes adults expect children to manage emotions better than adults manage their own. Think about that. Many grown adults struggle with patience. They struggle with self-control and emotional regulation. Yet, we become shocked when a 7-year-old struggles. Children are still learning. Their brains are still developing. What looks like deviance may actually be immaturity. What looks like disrespect may actually be poor emotional regulation. What looks like rebellion may simply be a skill that hasn't developed yet. And then we have pain. Pain changes behavior in children. Emotional pain, social pain, family pain, academic pain. Children who are hurting often behave differently, and unfortunately, pain is often punished instead of understood. Looking beneath the surface, imagine an iceberg. The small part above water is behavior. Everything underneath is what we rarely see. I mean, everything underneath is what we rarely see. Everything like fear, stress, shame, loneliness, confusion, disappointment, anxiety, rejection, and even frustration. If parents focus only on the visible parts, they missed most of the story. Great parenting requires curiosity. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with this child?" please try ask, "What happened to this child?" Or, "What might this child be experiencing right now?" That single shift changes everything. Now let's look at the difference between a reaction and a response. Many parenting conflicts happen because adults react. The child yells, the parent yells louder. The child becomes stubborn, the parent becomes harsher. The child withdraws, the parent criticizes. The child continues. The cycle now continues like this. And responsive parents look different. Responsive parenting looks different in this scenario. When the child misbehaves, the parent pause, they observe, they reflect, then respond intentionally. This approach does not remove boundaries, it improves them, because discipline works best inside a relationship built on trust. Let's look at what emotionally safe parents do differently. Check that. What emotionally safe parents do differently. They do not ignore behavior, but they investigate behavior. They ask questions. They stay curious, they listen, they validate emotions, they teach skills, they correct with respect. Most importantly, they help children feel seen. And children who feel seen are far more likely to cooperate than children who feel judged. I have this reflection for parents. Please utilize it. I want you to think about your child right now. The child who frustrates you. The child who worries you. The child whose behavior keeps challenging you. Now ask yourself, what might this child be trying to communicate? What fear might he or what fear might hiding underneath his behavior? What need might be unmet? What pain might be unseen? What support might be missing? You see, those questions often reveal more than punishment ever will. Years from now, your child may not remember every rule. They may not remember every consequences. But they may not remember even every lecture. They'll remember how they felt around you. Did they feel understood? Did they feel safe? Did they feel valued? Did they feel heard? Did they feel accepted? accepted even while being corrected. These memories shape relationships for decades. These memories in your children shape your relationship with them for decades. Dear friends, one of the greatest gifts we can give children is not perfection, it is understanding. Because children are not projects to be fixed, they are human beings to be understood. And many children labeled difficult today are simply carrying emotions they do not yet know how to express. The child who seems angry may be scared. The child who seems stubborn may feel powerless. The child who seems rude may feel unseen. The child who seems difficult may simply need an adult willing to look deeper. When we change the question from "How do I stop this behavior?" to something like "What is this behavior trying to tell me?" everything begins to change. And sometimes that change comes just in time, before trust is lost, before communication breaks down, before emotional wounds become deeper. Because behind every behavior is a child waiting to be understood, and understanding is where healing begins. At Nurture and Thrive Therapy, we believe emotionally healthy children are raised through connection, understanding, wisdom, and intentional care. If today's message spoke to your heart, please subscribe, like and share this episode with parents, teachers, caregivers, counselors, and mentors who are committed to raising emotionally safe children. Together, we can build homes, classrooms, and communities where children feel seen, heard, valued, and understood. Until next time, remember, a child's behavior is often a message. The question is not whether they are speaking, the question is whether we are listening. Stay encouraged, stay intentional, and keep nurturing the future, one child at a time. Thank you, and see you again in our next episode. Bye for now.